Ladies and gentlemen, our Frontier Conference Cross Country Media Day here as we do it virtually once again. Commissioner Crawford normally running these, but he is on the road and unable to join us. So he has stuck me here. So hopefully everybody doing well to this point. Our next up is Montana Tech head coach Jacob Sundberg in his first year as head coach with the Ore Diggers, but certainly has been a part of the program here the last couple of years. He is an alum of Carroll University in Wisconsin. Last season, both the women and men's teams competed in the 2023 NAIA Cross Country National Championship meet. This season, the Ore Digger women are currently receiving votes in the most recent NAIA poll. Last season, the Ore Diggers claimed 2 total Frontier Conference academic all-conference recipients, 1 on the women's side and 1 on the men's side. And I'll turn it over to Coach Sundberg. Coach, it's all you.
Thank you, Paul. Be careful about telling people where I went to school, because if someone misinterprets that, I might get run out of town.
I jumped on the university in the Wisconsin, I felt like, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, I made that mistake in my first Zoom call when I got hired here, and I've been careful about it since. Yeah, sorry we're a little spread out here. Obviously, we have Brian and Peyton on different calls. We would have just joined you in your office, Paul, but a little crowded in there.
Well, it's a small office too.
But yeah, so I'll be brief. We obviously I am in my first year in charge of cross country here, and I might be the only person on this call who hasn't been to Ammon Park. So I'm excited to be there this week. We've had an interesting start to our season where our women are receiving votes right now, and we hope to continue to climb in those polls. And I think we have a talented group that is capable of doing that. Our men's team is a little bit less depth than we had previously, and I think that we'll continue to get better on that side too. But I mean, very different groups between the men and the women. Whereas, I think the theme of the media day today has been a lot of schools in the conference have a lot of rosters that don't have as much cross country experience, but they're talented runners who have what it takes to make that next step. And I feel like that's kind of where our women are. A lot of our women's team is middle distance runners who wanted to continue to develop aerobically, and this was the best way to do that. And I'll spare you guys a metabolics talk. I feel like our athletes hear that at practice plenty, but as when I had a group coming to me saying they wanted to be more aerobic for track, I was like, hey, the best way is to be all in on cross country, not do cross country for track, but be all in on that. And that group has kind of rallied behind that. And despite being a shorter group, we've done well at the 5Ks and excited for the 6Ks. Whereas the men is a different story, where we have a lot older of a group where, we have a lot of returners. Brian and Hayden are our only freshmen. And so it'll be interesting to, see where they continue to go, because Brian's already had some good performances. Missoula was his first 8K, and,
Oh. Whoa. Sorry, I'm struggling to get my camera to work on my computer.
Okay. I don't know how to help you.
Yeah, no, I'm figuring it out.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we are, we have a good mix of returners and newcomers, and I think we'll continue to progress. And the training has set them up for that, and I think that with the people we have on our team currently, we are in a position to have a good season. So I mean, it'll be interesting, and we'll look to set that up for the remainder of the season.
How many do you have on each side, Coach, as far as men and women?
Currently we have 8 and 8. We do have one on the men's side who is redshirting just because he had already previously redshirted track and wanted a full extra season for when he's gonna, do a fifth year. But yeah, I mean, the men's team is the women's team has been healthy, and the men's team has a couple of injuries going on right now. So I mean, that's why Bozeman, we only had 5 finishers, and but yeah, I mean, we've done everything we could to try and keep this group as healthy as possible, because I know that gives us the best opportunities to compete is if we're healthy and running everyone to the best of their abilities.
Well, Brian, he mentioned that Bozeman was your first 8K. Run us through that. Was that a learning experience?
Yeah, it was definitely longer than because in high school I've only done 5Ks. So by the time I reached like the 3 mile mark, I was like, oh shoot, I have 2 more miles to go. But going over that hill was 2 times was not fun, but it was. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Definitely like a good starting point, and I think I can make some improvements in there.
Yeah. Peyton's camera is working.
Yep.
Peyton, talk about, with Western, we were talking about the importance of having a full team. Talk about what that's like when you have, 7 other runners on the women's side, a full squad on the men's side, being able to have that kind of team experience for you. Kind of walk us through that, if you don't mind.
Well, I think to start off, just even in the summer, running by myself, it was really difficult. And so then when I came to Tech and we got going with the team, it was so much better. And I think it's nice to have a full team. Is the mic like doubling?
Could you mute one of them?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, is that better?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I think honestly being able to have people to run with, first off, just coming in straight off the summer was so much better. And then as far as practice goes, it's kind of hard, even though it is still just 7 girls, to get everybody's schedules to align. So one thing that I've noticed is that no matter what, you'll always have someone to run with, which is really nice. And we always try to do that just so we can keep the team aspects together. So then when it comes to a race, we race together. So yeah, that's been really, really nice.
Coach, what's left on your schedule?
So we'll be in Billings this week with everyone else. I think, us and Rocky and Carroll all have the same schedule here on out. I mean, going to Michigan after Billings, and then we'll have conference, and hopefully we'll have a large enough group to consider nationals one. I know that, everyone has goals of going to nationals, and, I think our athletes have put themselves in a position where we can make a push for that. And what Coach Duffy was saying from Rocky was, that Michigan meet is a big chance to really solidify yourself with an at-large opportunity. And, I, as the women's rater for the conference, I've looked at, who's potentially going to be there, who's historically gone there, and, where they line up as far as ratings go. And I mean, there are a lot of teams on the bubble who look like they will probably be there. And, that'll be a great opportunity for all of us. And I mean, it is kind of strange going all the way to Michigan and racing Carroll and Rocky like we do every time we race, but there will be a lot of other schools there as well that will be the difference makers as far as that that national outlook.
From a Raiders perspective, that's a good piece of vision, I guess, that most don't see. The idea of being able to look and compare to all the other schools that will be part of that Michigan, it certainly gives you a much better idea of where teams are going to be once that Michigan meet is done.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to any race, I try to talk with the athletes about, all right, here's where this pack was last time. And, if our pack is behind them, mathematically, it doesn't make sense as far as if you were going for a win. When it looks at a little bit bigger of a field and there's teams from all over the place, and, all right, we at least have a touch point of this team that we are, all right, you're usually by, this group from this team or this person from this team. And, you're going to be in a different field that you're not used to. Cause I mean, there's a lot of runners there that you haven't seen before, but I think that is one thing that helps bridge the gap. Once you do have athletes running at nationals, it's not their first large meet where they don't know everyone in the race. So, I mean, it's just my job to put our athletes in a position to, be able to successfully navigate that. And, we do that in training as far as, physically preparing them. We do that in, a lot of other situations and environments, different race environments to try and, piece those things together that, aren't always the obvious things when it comes to, what do we do? How does this week look? How does this session look? So,
okay. Coach, thanks for your time. Does anybody have anything for Coach Sundberg? It looks like you're good to go. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.